Thank you guys all for being here on a Friday. I appreciate you. I know that I don't like to be online on a Friday, usually, unless I'm talking, which is always fun for me. But for you guys to spend your Friday here listening to me talk, I'm very grateful, and I'm flattered that you've chosen to spend your Friday morning/afternoon, depending on where you are, here with us. So, can I quickly ask, how many of you have heard of Hey Levi? Like, you know what Hey Levi is? I see a couple of
Yes.
hands. Okay, awesome. Anyone who doesn't know, all of us. Okay, so everyone knows about Hey Levi. Is there anyone who isn't familiar with Hey Levi, has no idea what it does or is? If you have your camera off, feel free to put 0 in the chat. I'm just curious if anyone here is completely unfamiliar with it. I don't see any. Okay, great. Awesome. Okay. So I'll skip the whole like what it is or what I do. I mean, it sounds like everybody knows. Want to know more? Okay, awesome. Yeah, I'm happy to also answer any specific questions. It does a lot, and in a nutshell, what it does is really help you understand your market, your customer avatar. Some people think of us as a branding app. Some people think of us as a content generation app. We're really not. And we'll start to see a lot of things that we're doing this year are actually completely, like away from the whole content generation thing. And the reason for that is that we're really an app that helps you identify your customer avatars, helps you segment your audience, really figure out your product market fit for every offer that you currently have or are going to launch. We're really helping you position your brand and then position every offer under that. Right. And a lot of that, if you've heard me speak before, a lot of that comes from my having worked for product launches like the iPhone 5 in 2012. And then 2 years later, the horribly awful flop of the Amazon Fire Phone. I was also part of the Windows Vista launch, which was an even bigger disaster. We did all the marketing material for Windows Vista on an Apple machine, which should tell you guys something. Anyway, a few little stories there, but basically through those experiences, I learned a lot about the pros and cons of having a brand first positioning strategy versus a product first positioning strategy, right? Apple is really brand led, brand focused. Everything that they launch, every product that they launch under their brand is all about selling that one ultimate brand vision, right? Which is making tech an extension of yourself, of your life, right? Whereas Amazon, even though they're a strong brand, they're not really brand led if you think about it, right? Everything that they do, every product that they release is very product led, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I mean, I don't think anyone here would mind being the next Amazon of the world, right? They've done a lot of things right. But if you really look at their track record of when they've actually launched something successful versus unsuccessful, there hasn't been a lot of customer forgiveness around products that were maybe not the greatest, right? Like the Fire Phone to me is the perfect example. Even though Amazon was well known, we love Amazon, we love almost everything that they put out. When they launched the Fire Phone, they didn't do their homework on like who's going to really care about that product and why. They just made it all about the features that they stuffed into it. And for that reason, there wasn't a lot of customer forgiveness, right? And we as agencies, as marketing agencies, as high level agencies, whatever way we are serving our clients, if you think about being a brand led company, you may not be trying to launch the next iPhone or Fire Phone or any phone. But the idea is when you have a core brand strategy, when you position your brand in a way that resonates with your customers and they see their story in your brand, then it becomes easier to start launching more products, more offers without worrying about losing people if you have a bad launch, right? And if you've been in business long enough, you know that not every launch will be perfect, not every launch will be a good one, and not every launch is going to be a successful one. Right. So you really want to think about, building a brand, a strong brand, and then positioning your products and services under that umbrella brand positioning. You still want to look at product market fit. You still want to make sure that your products are going to resonate with your customers, and you want to make sure that you're segmenting your audience and really using messaging. And that's really what today is going to be about, messaging. You really want to make sure you want to use messaging that's going to resonate with each of your customer avatars. Right. So that's a lot of what Hey Levi helps you do. It helps you understand your customer avatars, build and test out your offers. And then from there, of course, you can also create content, but you can also audit your offers. You can do comparative analysis. You can build a business plan. Really anything that helps drive sales at the end of the day is what Hey Levi helps you do. Now, that being said, for those of you who are aware of Hey Levi, are you guys aware of a feature in Hey Levi called Voice of Customer? If you know what,
This
no worries at
meeting is
all.
being
We're just
recorded.
happy you're back.
Yeah.
So, okay, awesome. So yeah, talking about like voice of customer and messaging, what any of that means, right? So traditionally, if you can actually, before I tell you traditionally what marketers tend to do when coming up with messaging, if you can tell me in the chat, if you're not driving, I see Martina, you're driving, so don't do this. But for anyone who's at a computer, can you tell me what is your number one source for identifying the messaging that you're going to use for any offer or launch or product or service? What is the one thing that you do to understand what kind of messaging you should use for something to make it's going to resonate with your customers, with your audience? Manolo, hopefully I'm pronouncing your name right. You said I lost you. But let me rephrase that. So when you are coming up with how you're going to position something, right? So I mean, my talk on Level Up, which Bridget just mentioned, was an entire 45-minute presentation on positioning and messaging, brand-led strategy versus product-led strategy. But just to keep it simple, like how do you understand how to position your offers? Using the words they've said to you, pull from conversations. Exactly. I think typically we do what appeals to us, which is selling to ourselves based on their pain points. Right. Yeah. Have any of you ever heard or done this? But the traditional way of trying to figure out what your customers are saying is going into all these online communities, right? Going into Facebook groups, for example, where you know your customer hanging out and seeing what they're saying, right? Ask them. Yeah. So these are actually a lot closer. So traditionally, what I was going to say earlier is I've seen marketers, and I've done this myself as well, right? I've gone into Facebook groups. I mean, I used to be an ads manager. I used to be a copywriter for some high ticket clients. And what I used to do first is go into these Facebook groups to see what people were saying. And a lot of times that works until I started to realize that it wasn't a foolproof way of creating a messaging strategy, because what people say online is a very guarded version of themselves, or sometimes completely unguarded, but it's usually not who they actually authentically are, right? We know that we can hide behind a screen and be better than we are, worse than we are. We can bring out our best side, worst side, really, whatever we want. We're safe because we're behind the screen, right? Answer the public, that's a great one too. But I have a large Facebook friend base. My various offers don't fit everyone. I need to set up online communities from various niches. Yeah. Yeah. And that's something that we're going to talk about as well today. So when I started to really think about what I was doing and why the strategy was kind of working sometimes and not working sometimes, I started to realize that there's a reason why larger companies, larger tech companies like Apple and Amazon even, that there's a reason why they actually don't do that. That's not the primary part of their strategy. They will do some of that, but that's not where they get the primary core piece of their messaging from, right? It's literally from what customers are telling them directly. Some of that comes from, yes, customer support and things like that. But if you are having calls, I mean, they do customer interviews all the time, right? They don't do sales calls, but they do customer interview calls. They do focus groups. They do, what's it called? Those test like focus groups, I think felt like there was another term for it, but it's escaping me now. But anyway, so they do these things to hear from customers what it is that they're actually dealing with. What are they struggling with? So yes, pain points, but not just any old pain points, but like how are they describing those pain points, right? What are they saying, and how can I use those exact words and phrases in my messaging so that my customers are going to immediately resonate with my messaging, understand exactly what it is that my offer is and what it's going to do for them. And of course, it's going to earn their trust, right? Like that's the biggest thing. We want to earn their trust by speaking their language. So what some of these companies do, what Apple and Amazon and the likes of these companies do to create this messaging strategy is something called voice of customer, right? Now, these companies have a much larger budget, but what that also means is that they have product marketing teams that do this. This is what they do for months. When they're coming close to launching a new product or service, they do this by hand right now. So they take all of these transcripts, all of these conversations that they're having. They take these transcripts and then they look for themes. They look at what is coming up over and over again. What are some of the common things things that people are saying a lot of, and what are all the different ways that they're saying it in. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to share my screen if that's okay, Bridget, in a couple of minutes, and I'm going to show you exactly what that means. But basically, they're looking for themes, right? Like what is coming up? What do people care about? What are the words and phrases that they're using to describe these themes? And then when they come up with that, now they know how to structure their offers. They know what kind of messaging to use. And they know, without doing a lot of A/B testing or, spending money on ads just to see if something's resonating, they know that this has a much higher likelihood of resonating because they're literally using their own customers' words and phrases. Right. So that is typically called voice of customer. It's a very well-known term in the product marketing world. And so what we've tried to do with Hey Levi in general also, we try and take a lot of what these larger companies are doing with their messaging, with their marketing and sales. And we've tried to build it into Hey Levi as a way of democratizing those tools, right? Now you don't need a whole product marketing team. You don't need expensive tools. You can just use something like Hey Levi, or at least understand the concept and then choose to do it however it works best for you. But the idea is being able to take those call transcripts and pull out messaging from them. So with that, I'm going to share my screen, but if you could also tell me in the chat, how many of you have any kind of customer conversations? This could be sales calls, but it could also just be demo calls, or it could be, anyone who does appointment booking, right? Like if you or your team get on any kind of calls, if you do consultation calls, anything like that. Do you speak to your customers in your niche? Are you talking to your customers and recording those calls all day, every day? Yeah, I think a lot of us do. Yeah, put a yes in the chat for me, just so I know. And if there's anyone who maybe you're in an industry where you're like, I talk to my customers, I have a home, local home service business, but obviously I'm not on calls and I'm not recording those. Okay, so far, all yeses. Okay, so there are different ways to do this if you are not recording calls. So that's why I was asking. But if most of us here are recording our calls, when I used to record my calls and when I was actually a new agency a few years ago, I used to record them as backup, like if I ever needed them, but I just had them. I wasn't really doing anything with them. But when I started to think about what I did for these bigger companies, I realized that I'm not leveraging what I already know works, right? Is leveraging these calls, leveraging the messaging in them to really pull out all of that gold, all of that marketing gold. So here, I'm going to go in here. Let me share my screen really quick. Hopefully I'm sharing the right screen. Let me know if you see my screen here.
Oh, I see it.
Awesome. Okay, so this is not a very impressive or beautiful looking screen, but it's really what I'm going to show you here, right? So let me show you what it is first, and then I'll show you how to create it, right? So here I just put one together. This is a demo company. We're just pretending that we sell aqua water pods. Don't ask me why. My VA thought that would be a good idea for a demo, so I went with it. But let's say we are selling aqua pods, right? Which are like environmentally friendly, better for the environment than using like plastic water bottles, things like that, right? So it's pulled in automatically my brand customer avatar. I can always change this, but it's pulled in my audience here for me. I have uploaded 10 call transcripts here. I believe, yeah, I have. You can upload up to 10, right? 5 or 10 is really where you want to be. And what it's done is it's analyzed all of those call transcripts and it's pulled out all of the key themes that seem to be coming up in these calls, right? So it's told me that based on these calls, it sees the key themes are delivery and shipping concerns, which is more of a like fulfillment thing, maybe not so much messaging and sales strategy. Environmental and sustainability concerns, that's good to me. Like that's gold. Like I want to know, how do I position my aqua pods, water pods, to make sure that it helps ease the minds of people who care about like water and where they're getting their water from, and what is the source of their water. Is it coming in water bottles? What is it doing to the environment? Like I want to know how to word these things about my product in my sales and marketing material so it's going to resonate, right? And product use and quality issues. This is more of a customer support thing. So I might say, okay, this to me is the key thing. Sometimes you'll have one key theme that really stands out, and depending on what your offer is and what has come up on these calls, you might see more than one theme, and those are all great to like pull in. So in this case, I think the one that I want to focus on most is going to be environmental and sustainability concerns, right? Customers are increasingly concerned about the environmental impact and the sustainability of the products that they use. They want assurance that these pods are going to align with their personal goals of reducing carbon footprints and minimizing environmental harm. It's basically given me a blurb here, which I can just use in my marketing, right? But this is what takes product marketers at larger companies weeks, sometimes months, right, of doing this. They do this by hand. And now with AI, you can kind of do this just really quickly. So if you pick a theme here, it'll highlight where in these call transcripts that came up. So you can see the exact words that your customers are using to describe that theme. Right. So again, I know none of us are selling aqua water pods, but just a broad example, depending on like what you do and how this could work for you. But it'll tell you that they had questions about their environmental impact. They were curious about the life cycle. They asked if we have any data and reports to back this up. What about the pod materials? Like these are the things that people want to know. And so I want to make sure that all of my marketing material has this information. So now you can see that I'm not just going into Facebook groups and trying to see what people are saying there, but I'm actually taking what people are telling me and pulling my messaging out of that. Keep in mind also that if you're pulling out messaging from your calls, people are a lot more transparent when they're on something like a Zoom call with you. Whether it's a small group, like a focus group, or whether it's a one-on-one call, people aren't really hiding behind a screen at that point, even though they kind of are, but they're live, they're there with you, right? They feel like they're safer because they don't feel like they're going to get attacked based on something that they say. So again, a lot of what we put out on social media is very guarded. It's very well thought out. But on a call, it's a lot more real, right? I'm going to share a lot more about what I'm dealing with, what I'm looking for with you, without putting like guardrails on what I'm telling you, right? And so that's why pulling your messaging out from sales calls, from customer calls, any type of customer calls, again, like I said, consult calls, if you do that, can become key to how you market your products. Okay. These are also all editable. So again, this is when you recreate the process that product marketers at larger tech companies are using just in a little app here. So basically, if I'm like, let's say I want to, saving the planet is worth the inconvenience. So I'm like, okay, I think that it kind of ties in with the environment. I mean, I want to add that into my messaging. Let's say, so I can select a theme here and say, add this comment to this theme. I can also say, oh, the trans didn't get it right. It was actually trying to say inconvenient or something. I don't know. That doesn't make sense here, but you can edit it is what I'm trying to show you. Like you can edit all of this, make sure it really makes sense with what it is that you're trying to do. So another way of saying you don't have to worry about your transcripts being perfectly transcripted, if that's a word. You don't want to spend enough time in Descript or something trying to make sure that every word is right before you do this. It's really easy to do. You can just upload them as they've come in, right? And now if I save this, I mean, I do want to make sure that I'm saving it at the bottom as well. But now it's going to show up as part of my theme, right? For that. Is this making sense to anyone? Is this kind of like getting you guys excited about how you can get your messaging to resonate with your customers much easier, but also in a way where you're not just guessing, you're not just throwing spaghetti at the wall, right? Like you're using their exact words and phrases.
Ruheene, what this reminds me of, I always think of this, is like if I wanted to sell my husband on a great idea, I already know his pain points. I already know exactly what to say to him to get him to be sold on my idea or whatever it is. And I just love that a lot of times we start a business and maybe we think we know our customer or our customer is like us, but this helps to fast track that whole process because while you can eventually learn from the call transcripts and all that, that's a manual thing that takes a lot of time and sometimes even years to really understand who the customer is, but you've literally just fast tracked that whole process.
Exactly. And even if you are super attentive to your customer calls today, I mean, our human brains can only focus on a couple of things at a time, probably just one thing really well at a time, right? But if your customers are saying different things, even if you're taking the best notes and you've got the best transcripts and you're not actually using them to pull these themes out, you're probably leaving a lot of gold on the table or in your transcripts. And that's such a perfect analogy. I love it. Yeah, exactly. Like if I had to sell something to my husband, it would be a whole lot easier than going up to somebody on the street, right? Because I know exactly what to say to him. And it wouldn't be the same thing that would make me buy, which is so interesting. So yeah. Anyway, so yeah, so that's kind of how you, like, just a quick rundown of how you do it. It's really easy to set this up inside of Hey Levi. Again, if you have another way that you want to do it, I just wanted to show you guys more than anything else the concept of using something like voice of customer, right? So here, let me get out of this to show you next. If you're like, okay, so what do we do? How do we actually pull this now into our messaging? So the next thing you do is for every offer, and you guys, if you're familiar with Hey Levi, you might know this already. For every offer that you either currently offer, or if it's an offer that you're creating from scratch, we have something called product playbooks that help you identify your customer avatars, identify what features and benefits it should or is bringing to your customers, depending on if it's a live offer or if it's something that you're just trying to create or play around with. So what you want to do is you'll add a product playbook, right? This is going to help you, like I said, segment your audience, create your customer avatars, and then help you based on these segmented customer avatars, understand how to position and market your offer, right? So I'm not going to go through the whole product playbook thing, but I just want to show you how to pull in voice of customer, or what we call VOC, into your customer avatars or buyer avatars, whatever you may call them. So let's say this is for our aquapods, right? I'm going to say this is a product, not a service. And I can give it a quick description. So maybe biodegradable, environment friendly water pods, maybe disposable. I'm not entirely sure what these water pods are. Again, this was an example that my VA kind of just threw at me, and I was like, okay, let's go with it. So again, it's automatically pulled in my brand level customer avatar, which is a broader customer avatar that I serve at the brand level. These are meant to be broad, not meant to be super hyper specific or detailed. Those detailed customer avatars are supposed to come at a product level, right? Because when you use messaging, a specific kind of messaging to sell your products and services, you want that to be super dialed in to these customer avatars. All right. So it's already pulled that in. I could change this if I wanted to, but most importantly, I want to pull in, now it's just named with the brand customer avatar, but this is the voice of customer we just looked at, right? So it's asking me, am I using VOC? Okay, I'm going to select my VOC, which is my voice of customer, and pull that in here, and I can tell it anywhere between 1 to 3 customer avatars that I wanted to generate based on the details in this voice of customer analysis. So just to keep this quick, I'm going to say 1. And now it's going to create a customer avatar that actually uses those same words and phrases that it's already pulled out from my voice of customer. Have I lost anyone yet? Like, is this kind of making sense? Are you guys excited about using this for your messaging, or is it feeling like way too much? Is there a way to do VOC with no transcription data? So VOC is specifically to pull out themes from transcripts. If you don't have transcripts, this is where I was going to say, if you don't have transcripts, or if you're in an industry where maybe you're not having Zoom calls and it doesn't make sense to have Zoom calls, what you could also do is just rely on generative AI to figure that out for you. And it does a pretty good job, I will say. But if you have transcripts, it's always going to get you that extra mile towards using the same words and phrases. Cool. Yeah, Martina. Like truly seeing how this will help my clients to narrow their value give. Exactly. So this is what this whole product playbook does, is help you understand your value propositions. But again, it's going to do that based on the customer avatars that you have. And customer avatars are only as good as, what they've been told to do. So a lot of customer avatar cards I see are just like demographics, pain points, and that's where people stop. It's just like demographics and pain points. And now this is my solution, and these are the pain points that I solve. But if you really understand what it is that their lifestyle holds, what is their story, right? What is their inner dialogue? What is their decision making or buying process look like? What does that decision making process look like? What are the marketing strategies and engagement strategies you could use towards these folks? Now you're starting to get to know them on a more personal level, like Bridget was saying with her husband, right? You don't look at your best friend or your husband and the people that you know. Think about the people that you're closest to in your life, and you know what's going to get them excited versus not. Don't you wish you knew your customers like that, where you knew exactly what you could say to get them excited about something, right? There's so much power in going so much deeper with your customer avatars. So, all right, so in this, it's given me something here, but just so that it's easier to read, I'm going to save this. It's just letting me know that I haven't finished my playbook, which is fine. I just want to come in here and look at this. So now it's like an easier to read customer avatar, right? So all right, so it's given me not just, again, demographic background, it's given me her deepest struggles and fears. It's given me what is her immediate task to be accomplished. What is she trying to get done in this moment, right? This is something that's called jobs to be done in the product marketing world. But it's really like, what is that one core goal that they're trying to achieve with the solutions that they're looking for? Their pain points, blockages, dreams and goals, buying behavior, lifestyle. I mean, these are like really dialed in customer avatars, right? Shopping habits, favorite brands and products, price sensitivity. So it's going to give you ideas on how to price your offers as well. Inner dialogue, like this is where all that VOC stuff is coming in. Now, for those of you that maybe don't have transcripts to use for something like this is the part that's going to be generated by GenAI again, because our prompts have been built in a way where we try and either use your VOC if you have that analysis. If you don't, it's going to use the data that it's trained on to best understand what this customer avatar's inner dialogue would be. And again, AI is pretty powerful, so it does come up with some really deep dial stuff. We've built entire marketing campaigns, even for Hey Levi, just by using what GenAI has given us. In fact, I keep talking about this and I keep saying that we need to do a case study, and that's going to happen next quarter for sure. But we were actually able to quadruple our own revenue within a quarter just by using the strategies that Hey Levi was giving us. So again, if you're not using, thank you, Keck. Did I pronounce your name right? Okay, perfect. I don't like to say people's names confidently if I'm not sure. So if you are, again, if you're using transcripts, don't leave it to GenAI to just kind of make up its own thing, even though it is pretty good. Use those actual call transcripts. If you don't have them, still use product playbooks, because you want customer avatars that are going to be this detailed, so you can kind of get into their minds, right? Like you really want to know how you can get into their minds. And then, Bridget, I don't even know if you have seen this. I think you saw us post about this, but we just released this like a day or two ago. The Speak to Me.
I saw this and I knew that you were coming on, so I didn't want to do a video about it. But this is there's no words to describe. I mean, I can't wait for you to show it. I'll just stop talking so you can, because it's so cool. Go ahead. I'll just stop. Go ahead.
So if you've ever felt like, now I wish I could just talk to my ideal customer and just ask them, what is it that they want? Like you've already gotten pretty close, right? With this customer avatar, again, of doing VOC, you're already like really close at this point, right? But it doesn't replace having an actual conversation. Like, how many of you guys wish you could just walk up to your ideal customer and not be creepy at all and just be like, hey, can I just tell you what I sell? And then can you just tell me what you wish I sold so that you would actually buy it? Right? If you actually did that with a live person, I don't know if you've ever done that. I probably wouldn't. I'm guessing I would get shunned pretty quickly and shut down. But like, it would be cool, right? If you could do that. So this is kind of giving you a role playing way to do that. So AI is now capable of becoming your customer avatar. We've given it all of these details, so it knows who it is, who it's supposed to be, where they're from, what are they struggling with, what does their lifestyle look like, what are their buying behaviors. It already knows all of this, so it has enough information. Again, you want to make sure that this is true of who your customer avatar is. If you wanted to edit this, if maybe not this, you can go and edit it, right? But once you're like, okay, this is my customer avatar, now I want to just talk to them and maybe practice my pitch, or like, what else would they have wanted to see in my offers to buy it. So before I actually talk to, what's her name, Sarah, I want to look at this. This part is important, right? So the inner dialogue, I feel like I'm running in circles trying to make my shop successful. Sometimes I wonder if I'm cut out for this. What if I'm not good enough? I'm passionate about sustainability. I guess saving the planet is worth the inconvenience. Do you remember this? This is coming straight from the VOC, right? It frustrates me when deliveries don't arrive on time. Okay, so this is now using more of the like delivery issues. What if the pods don't dissolve properly, or if they don't taste right? Like these are the things that she's worried about. So now I know how I can talk to her, right? And then it's also telling me to market effectively to Sarah, highlight the transparency of the product's environmental impact, including scientific studies, the data that you have, emphasize the alignment with sustainability goals and the community aspect of using the product. I don't really know what that means because I don't sell water pods and I don't understand the community aspect, but let's just go with it. I promise this will make more sense when you're using live like a live product and offer and customer avatar, right? Um, and then offer real life success stories and a free trial to build trust. Okay, so let's give her a call.
Hello, who is this?
Hi, Sarah. My name is Ruheene, and I'm calling from Aqua Pods. Do you have a minute to talk about how you're sourcing your water from and the environmental concerns that you may have around that?
I'm actually in the middle of something. I've been using Aqua Pure Pods for months, so what's this call about?
We'd love to know what you would like to see in these pods to want to tell your friends about it.
Well, I'm always looking for ways to reduce my carbon footprints, so anything that aligns with that is important to me. What exactly are you looking for? I'm pretty busy.
I would love to get your thoughts on some of the things that you are worried about, like trying to make your shop successful, and how Aquapods may be able to cater to that need and help you run a more successful shop.
Honestly, I feel like I'm pouring water into a bucket with holes sometimes. I worry about wasting resources on stuff that doesn't work. So how exactly do you think Aqua Pods can help me with that? My focus is on sustainable products, and I need to know they align with that.
So if we could share data with you that shows you how you and your customers could be saving the planet and you're reducing your carbon footprint by using Aquapods, is that something that would interest you?
Now you're talking. I'm all about the numbers. If you can show me real data that proves aquapods are truly helping, then yeah, I'm interested. But I need to see it. Just saying it won't cut it.
I completely agree. So can you tell me exactly what kind of data you would want to see?
I want to see a breakdown of the environmental impact, like how much plastic is saved compared to bottled water, or how the carbon footprint of production and shipping is reduced. I need the science. You know, I have to trust it to offer it at my shop.
All right, so I'm going to hang up, but you can see how you can have a pretty long, robust conversation and literally just ask your customer avatar, what do they want? Now, they are designed to be like real people. So some folks have given us feedback that they're like, oh, they feel really rude, like they don't want to talk to me. But that is real life. If you call someone, they're not going to be interested in wasting time talking to you unless they're interested in your product. So this gives you a way to practice talking to literally your customer avatar, right? Practice your elevator pitch, things like that. It helps you get in front of them and know exactly. Yeah, sorry, I have like family behind me, but I mean, how valuable is this? Is this something that you ever thought would be possible to do?
Look, Ruheene, let me just say, I got into content creation because I am not a salesperson. I just want to, I'll show you how it works, I'll teach you how to use it, but if you want me to sell you on it, it's not going to happen. So I was laughing, and I didn't want to say this before you got a chance to demo it, but when I called, I was totally unprepared because I just wanted to test it out. And then when she answered the phone, I legit got nervous. Like, oh my gosh, what do I say now? Like looking at totally gave me an attitude and everything. And I was like, this is the most amazing thing I've ever seen. This is so great because so many business owners are so intimidated by this process. And they also are just intimidated by what if they ask me a question and I don't know the answer? And it's like real world education without the embarrassment of speaking to a real person. I love this. Great job on this. It's awesome.
Exactly, exactly. And it's kind of like sometimes it is unnerving and it's meant to be, but also know you can hang up and it's not a real person that's gonna like start bad mouthing you now, right? So you always have the hang up button and you can always start again. You can practice this with any of your customer avatars for any of your products and services and offers. I mean, there's literally no reason to start throwing money to test out ads or your messaging anymore, to be honest with you. Yeah. I like the bad attitude, right? I mean, it's not for everyone. We've had a few folks be like, oh, I would fire my client, but it's like, well, let's say you're a customer that's different, but they're always going to be busy. They always want to know what you can do for them. They don't care about what you're offering, right? Unless it's going to help them in some way. So you see how she was really impatient with me initially, but I just literally used literally, Hey Levi is telling me what to say, right? It's literally right there on my screen. And as long as I use that to warm her up, now she's listening. Now I can ask her exactly. This is just the beginning. I mean, there's more coming with this as well, guys. This is like one of our like early tests to kind of show you the power of what you can do with AI now in terms of your messaging and your marketing and your sales. She can't call back. No, she cannot. She can't call you back. She can't abuse you. She can't like go write a bad review because you hung up on her. It's awesome.
As a coach, let me tell you, one of the reasons that I signed up for Hey Levi when I first saw it is because I teach how to be a software reseller, but these are just tools, right? Everybody here in this program has a different business that they use the tools for. Some are serving like reselling high level and the white label ads manager and all these tools. It's like they all have different niches and different use cases. But one thing it's universal is always the question of how do I position this offer? How do I target, like how do I even know, okay, I have these tools, I have high level, but who needs high level? That's very broad, So then you have to narrow the niche down. That it's always the challenge. So it doesn't even matter if you're a coach, you're either going to be doing these things and then using your time and assisting your clients to make them more successful. Obviously, that's what we want. But if you have this tool, it's doing it for you. So you're more productive and they are more productive, because I can't sit, with 300 plus clients, I can't sit and do these like demo, like, okay, now you say this and then I say this, and we just can't provide that level of experience. But with this addition to the high level account, that does it for us. I love it.
And is everyone here a high level agency?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So, imagine demoing this to your client, right? Imagine even making us on your next sales call or your next demo, be like, hey, can I show you how easy it's going to be for you to make sales? That's it, right? So it's a great demo product. Not demo product. It's a great thing to demo on your calls. It's great for you to practice your, again, just really refine your offers, make sure that you are really bringing out the value of your offers, adding the right features. Like, you're not adding your own features to high level, but if you're trying to figure out how to package high level, which features to talk about, you don't want to talk about all of your features, right? It just depends on the niche you're in, what your customer actually needs or cares about. And then just talk and focus on just that part. So it really helps you do all of those different things. I just saw a question that I missed earlier. To be clear, you can have different VOs for different products, which create different client avatars. Yes, there's no limit on how many VOCs you create in your account. And the idea is you can pull them into different product playbooks. Yes.
Did you have anything else to share before? I see Ray has his hand up for a question, so I didn't know. I wanted to make sure that you were.
No, I'm here for questions now.
Cool. Ray, do you want to go ahead? I'm sure they have plenty.
Sure. Just a simple question. I've got it in the chat too. Does the prospective customer learn or change its position in the next call? Does the VOC have a learning process that he goes through? The person you talk to the first time, will he be the same exact person the next time with the same reactions and all that?
They may be in a different mood, so you don't know what mood you're going to catch them in. We've tried to make this as real as possible. So sometimes they'll be in a better mood than others, so be aware. But again, this is really to help you get confident when you talk about your offers, right? So it isn't necessarily like somebody asked if this is a cold calling tool. And no, it's not meant to be. If you do cold calls, yeah, it's going to be great practice. But it's really, really meant to help you iron out the kinks in your offer, make sure that when you talk about your offer with a real person, I'm not a salesperson. I've been in marketing for a very, very long time, for over 16 years of my life at this point, and I've done product marketing, digital marketing. I can market all day long. I am not a salesperson. And so even now at like Level Up, we had a booth with Stanley, right? And so if you guys came and talked to me, I'm always a little bit like shy when you ask me something and I'm like, am I saying the right thing? But this tool now makes it so that whether you're at a live event, whether you're on a one-on-one call, you're going to know exactly what to focus on with confidence. And if you've ever heard me speak before, you'll know that I am dead against selling on price. There is a time and place for discounts, but if that is your sales strategy, I would highly encourage you to rethink it. You want to make sure that you are selling based on value, not on price.
Amen.
Right? And so these are the tools that we're building in to help you get there. So to answer your question, sorry, that was actually off topic. I just realized. So to answer your question, it won't remember the previous conversation. So you can't be like, hey, you remember Actually, I don't know. Maybe it'll something. I don't know. But no, it's not designed to remember a previous conversation. So I can just call her back and she may be in a different mood or she may be in the same mood. And she's going to be like, hey, why did you just hang up on me? Does that answer your question, Ray? Or because I know you're also asking VOC learn, but I think you meant does the customer avatar learn from these calls, right? Anyway, let us know if I answer the question if there's a follow-up.
No, you answered it. That's fine.
Awesome.
Did you have a question, Aisha?
Yes, I did. Thank you so much for this demo. It's been great. I did have one question that was in the chat as well. Does it take into account communication style of your client? Because some people make decisions based on specific direct communication. Some people you have to walk them through and tell them a story and all of that. Does it take into account who you may be talking to and the way that they make decisions and their communication style of what information is important to give them first and in what order?
Absolutely. And that's what you'll see in the customer avatar cards, right? It's going to tell you exactly what this person is. So in full transparency, what the AI knows about who they're trying to be and who they are pretending to be and role playing as is what you see on your screen and as the customer avatar. So if there's any details that you feel like, hey, my customers are like, I know that they like really respond to this versus that, you put that in there and then practice with them. So it knows whatever is in this customer avatar. So you can edit that at any point.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
Sorry, I jumped the gun there. Charles, did you have a question too?
Yeah, I love the product. I thought it was great for a long while, and I appreciate you answering my earlier question. I do have a lot of transcripts, so then my question is, in they're different segments, right? So then my question would be, because I have so many, what I should just use the most recent ones, the most recent transcripts?
Yes.
Is that kind of the thought process there? And
Yeah.
then, what?
Sorry. Yeah, to answer that part of the question, yes. So if you want to make sure that they're all talking about the same core pain point or whatever. So if you're talking to different people about different kinds of things, you probably want to make sure that unless you want to blend them all into one thing and have one offer that serves all of that. But after that, if you're trying to pick like which ones to upload, you always want the latest ones because the market changes really quickly and you don't want to use something that's too old.
Okay. And then once we of course get that voice of customer, then we use that to develop whatever messaging via the text messages that it already does, or the emails that it does, or landing pages, etc. Correct?
Yes. So your voice of customer is really only getting fed into your customer avatars, right? That's what it's meant to do. It's meant to create your customer avatars. The customer avatars are going to have those dialogues and pieces and themes and all of those things built into them to make them real people. Now, whenever you're creating content in Hey Levi, it gives you the ability to pull in your customer avatars depending on which product playbook you've selected, right? Sometimes you may want your messaging to be more broad and not for a very specific customer avatar. So you can pull in brand level customer avatar for that. Or if you want it to be really tailored to, if it's sales messaging and not just general marketing about your brand, you probably want to pull in one of your specific customer avatars from your product playbooks. And then it pulls in all of this information. And then yes, it will use that in your content.
Okay. I appreciate that.
Oh, do you guys have any other questions for Ruheene?
Before I forget, if anyone's interested in doing a deeper dive on this, we are doing a 3-day workshop next week on all of this. It's going to be spread across 3 days. You will need a Hey Levi account. So if you don't have one already, definitely, Bridget, actually, let me grab
in the description of the video. You can also go to myvisionagency.com/Hey Levi. And you can check that out. You can also see there's a promo code there. You can save 20%. There's also a snapshot that you're going to receive. And then you can also check out all of the previous training that I've done for Hey Levi.
Yeah, so if you want to give it a try, sign up for an account with the link. You get 20% off your first month. And then you can work alongside us to create all of this with us next week. It's Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Cool. Well, thank you, Ms. Ruheene, for joining us. I really appreciate it. You always be dropping the value bombs every time we speak. So I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much for your time. And the rest of you guys definitely hang out. We're going to spin the wheel and and do our normal thing. You're welcome to stay or you're welcome to hop out. But thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Bye, guys.
Have a good day.
You too.
So thank you guys so much for joining me, and I will see you all on Monday, same time, same place. Go make your vision a reality. Have an If you're considering signing up for High Level or you're already a High Level member, this is the video for you. I'm going to take you behind the scenes as a 6-figure a year business that I've built on High Level without a team that allows me to work from home 4 hours a day, building the life, not just the business that I always envisioned. Now, let's dive in. And when you first create your high level account, it'll look very similar to this. The colors will be this like blackish gray color, and you'll have your high level logo up here. And this that we're looking at right now is the admin dashboard. So this is going to be where you manage all of your sub accounts. So a sub account is what we're looking at here. These are 2 different business accounts. And if I wanted to go into that business account and I wanted to, manage it as the agency admin, I could click here to switch into the sub account. Now, the problem that everyone has is they all have this. They all have the exact same tools. They all look the same and they all function the same because it's all high level. So you either need to provide something on top of your high level account to differentiate your business from everyone else's, or you're going to race to the bottom on price. Okay. And that's certainly not what we want to do. So in my agency, of course, you'll see that I've rebranded it, and you'll see that I have all of the standard high level tools in this account, except when it starts here, I start adding my own tabs here. Okay, so this is what's going to make my agency stand out. This is what helps me to provide additional services to my clients. So I've added a coaching program. I've created an onboarding course here, and I wanted to add that custom menu tab there so that it's really easy for them to know where to get started. Okay. So I've gone in detail in my training and all of that. And of course, this that we're looking at right now is actually the community or course builder inside of High Level. So if we wanted to, or my user wanted to bounce around here, maybe take a course, this is what all of that looks like once you've gotten it all built out. Okay, so you can see for my program, I have the start here, and then I have all of the different tutorials and everything, and it looks beautiful. Okay, you also have an affiliate management system inside of the client portal, which is what houses the community and the courses. And then you see what the community looks like as well once you have it all built out. So I've created this, and I've just been able to put a tab here inside the dashboard so that all of my users can access the community and know where to get started. Now, we also have a tab here for the AI ads leads. So this is another white label software that I've created or that I've signed up for to provide for my agency clients. And you can see here, this is actually a really good software. You can just simply search for, in this example, marketing agencies in Indianapolis, and I can get all the contact information. I can even get the emails of everyone who works there. Interesting that this my agency pulled up here. But if I wanted to select all of these contacts here and I wanted to send them to my high level account, or my users wanted to do that, they simply just select that and they can click here to send to the CRM, and then it goes right into the contacts. Okay, so we're creating solutions based off white label software that integrate with high level and provide additional services. Now, the best part about software is that you do not have to spend time. Okay. This manages and runs itself. I'm providing incredible value for my clients or sub accounts, but I do not have to spend my time doing that. Okay. Now, the next thing that I also provide is an AI coach. This is another white label software. This is really, really great to help train the AI and create a brand profile. What's cool about this tool is that you can actually you just put in your website URL, and then it will help you create your avatar, your customer avatar. It'll tell you what their pain points are, and it stores this in your profile, and then you can create all of this content for your business, like email campaigns and all of that. And what's cool about this over something like ChatGPT is it will remember everything about your business to help you generate that content. All right. We also have the sales bot here. So the sales bot is an AI tool, again, that I've white labeled. This does integrate with High Level as well. And you can see the sales bot, the dashboard here. All of my members get access to their own dashboard where they can create unlimited AI bots. Now, High Level does have an AI bot. The difference is, though, this bot builder does not use AI credits, so it's unlimited, and High Level charges $97 for the unlimited. There is a pay-per-use plan, but having this bot builder allows my members the ability to resell unlimited bots, and it doesn't use any AI credits. So they're able to offer this as like a low barrier of entry, an entry-level offer, and then, of course, upsell to the other tools. Now, also in our program, I do have another white label software that is the Social Autopilot. Now, what's cool about this tool is it allows you to create, again, you're training the AI for your business and with your brand colors and all that, and it allows you to create campaigns. It's going to pull in your brand colors and all that, and then customize the images and the website and all of that. And it's going to go ahead and publish to, like, if I agreed this was all good, then it would publish to all of my different channels. So it's not just creating the content, it's actually creating the post and then will automatically post to all the different channels. So you can see that you can connect your accounts for Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and forgot all the other ones here. So we have Facebook, Google Business, Instagram, LinkedIn, Pinterest, TikTok, X, and YouTube. Okay, so you can create that content to all of those different platforms. And this is inside of my dashboard as well. Now you can also see that I've used another software that allows me to create 60 plus chat GPT prompts that my members can use to generate content. For example, we have a terms of service and a privacy policy, but you can see all of the things down here. But again, we just want to create these tools and resources for our members inside of our high level business. Okay. High level is a great foundation for a business, but it's not the entire business. Okay. And then, of course, I have a tab down here for our community. So I did have the get started that takes us right to the onboarding. That's just to make it a little bit more clear. But I always want our members to go to our community where they can receive support and all of that. I also, like I said, I do have the learning area here for all of my members to access the training. And then I also provide open office hours. You can see our events calendar in the community. So I am actually live Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And all of our resellers have the ability in our program to join me, not only in my live, but immediately following the live. I open up a Zoom room so you can join me and all of our community. And, there's great conversations there. But what's awesome is we're all using different tools in different ways, and we're able to provide experience and support to all of the members. Okay. So I always say, I am a great resource, I hope, but our community is definitely just priceless. All right. Now, the next thing that I also added into my high level agency is the task manager. High level does have a task manager, but this is more formulated like Trello. So it's a little bit easier to manage and to view all of your tasks and assignments. Now, all of the tools are great, but we also need resources. We also need a system. And one of the things that I love about High Level is we have the ability to create a perfect system for our clients inside of our High Level program or your business, whatever you want to make it, an agency or whatever you want it to be. And what I love is we're able to create these websites or all of these digital assets like courses and funnels and blogs and forms and quizzes and all of these things. And we can actually copy the entire account and have it automatically loaded into a new user's account as soon as they sign up. So as soon as Jane Doe signs signed up for this account, she automatically had in her account a course in the membership area. So you can see, and I do provide a course for all of our members because they have the ability to resell our AI manager here. So I definitely wanted to provide a course for them. So when their clients, sign up, they have a course that they can use that can be imported into the snapshot as well. And if you go into the sites area, you'll see there are 4 different funnels here. Close that out. There are 4 different funnels here. And of course, you can import all of these. But what I love about the system is if we go into edit, just want to show you a little back end cool thing here. You actually have the ability to not just upload the system, but you can actually customize it instantly as well. So I'm going to show you how. You'll see here that, this is a great template, and lots of us have signed up with programs that have templates, and we have to do a lot of customization, and we certainly don't want to have to spend our time as the agency doing it, and we don't want our customers to have to do that either. So you can add what's called custom values. If we scroll down here, you'll see that this button here, the color of the button is actually attached to a custom value. Okay, so if I click in here, you'll see this custom value. Now, you can build these custom values with not just colors, but with images, like I have the logo here. Now, if I go back, all of these websites or all these funnels have all the custom values and all of that. So when I go back into this account now, in my onboarding instructions, all I need to do is tell the users where to upload their assets. Okay, so I'm going to go to the custom values here. We're going to go to the folders, the MVA done for you system, and all they need to do to change that, change the logo and colors, is just add their own here. So let's just do a little test here. I'm going to update these colors with a different brand. So I'm going to say the primary color is this here. And we're going to change the secondary color. Let's go ahead and update that. And we'll change the secondary color here. And if I wanted to, of course, update the logo, I certainly could do that. But just to save time, I'm going to just show you about the colors here, because you will definitely see the magic that happens and why High Level is so good with duplication. If I wanted to change the logos, all I'd have to do, you'll see here that it's attached to a custom value. I would just change the link. Okay. So let's go back now into the sites, and you'll see where it was blue, and it's still kind of showing blue there. If I open up the page now, it's going to be all different colors. So now you'll see that it is purple and orange, which are my brand colors. You'll also see here, if we go to let's go to this funnel here. You'll see it's not just this one, it's all of the different funnels. They've all been updated. So you'll see that this website has also been updated, and you'll also see that not just, like I said, not just the colors here, but these actual images, they're SVG images, and you can have them update with the custom values as well. Okay. So I hope your mind is blown with the level of duplication that you're able to do instantly by utilizing the high level snapshots. So if you see what's happening here, we've had high level, the skeleton or the foundation. We've added additional, a community. We've added coaching. We've added additional software here. And we've also added funnels and websites and all of that. And now the whole purpose of my entire program and the business that I've built is to help others do exactly what I have done. Okay. So that's why I'm providing this done for you system to all of our members, and the licenses to rebrand and resell the AI Ads Manager, and also the ability to resell unlimited sales bots. And all of that is done inside of the high level agency, using it as the foundation of our business, not the entire business. Now, if you're ready to sign up for High Level, I'm going to give you a free My Vision Agency Starter Plan to help you get started. This includes our done-for-you system that you can load into your own High Level account, our live group coaching 5 days a week, the ability to resell your own brand of our AI Ads Manager, and unlimited sales bots, among many other resources. So choose the High Level plan that works best for you, and I will see you inside.